Kirkpatrick.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
that I will not knowingly receive,
that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable things
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duties
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear that I will
I further swear that I will
faithfully discharge my duties as
faithfully discharge my duties as
Shawnee Downtown Revitalization
Shawnee Downtown Revitalization
Project Amendment Review Committee
Project Amendment Review Committee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Okay, now that that's done, we'll call to order.
Johnson?
Present.
Dennis?
Present.
Wells?
Present.
Kirkpatrick?
Present.
McCormick? James? Bell?
Present.
Harden?
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right. So I'm not sure if anybody's had a chance to review some of the information that's been sent of the previous minutes from October 24th, 2017. A couple of us were there. So at this time, we can entertain motion to approve.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Oh, that's been a long time ago.
We just need to do a voice. Okay.
O'Neill?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Dennis?
Yes.
Wells?
Abstain.
Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Bell?
Yes.
Harden?
Can we vote on this if we weren't there? I mean, can we?
You're voting to, for form, not for content.
Okay, yes.
Motion passes 6-0-1.
So we are going to, we're going to postpone item 7 and 3 for our next meeting, and 4. And then that'll bring us to, isn't that right? We're going to postpone those? Oh, we have the list of 7, right?
I don't have a list.
Okay.
Seven's adjournment. Seven's adjournment.
Right. Well, we need to talk about the future meeting.
So for number 2, you want to defer that to our next meeting?
Yes, so that we can get the list of 7 so that we can then appoint the
Okay.
at-large.
So by power of the chair, we're deferring that.
By
to
power of the
next
chair,
meeting.
we're deferring that till
Okay.
next meeting. And then because we don't have that list, 3 and 4 will also be deferred to next meeting. And so I would like to move to item number 5, where we can discuss future meetings. So this can look like, I'm not sure that this committee needs to meet monthly, or we certainly need to meet quarterly or every other month. And so if anybody has any ideas, it would be nice. So for the remainder of this year, all of these meetings will be a special call because it hasn't been set up. So whatever we decide will go out as a special call, but I would like to, when we set it up, going into 2027, kind of continue with whatever we decide. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
Maybe before we talk about what those meetings are going to look like, maybe discuss number 6 to give us some content as to what we want to accomplish.
Sure.
And that kind of gives us some directive on how frequently we'll have to meet.
Will we need a vote to change the order?
No, just by power of the chair.
Okay,
you
by
can
power of the
move
chair, we'll
five
change the
and
order, we'll move 6. We'll switch 6 and 4.
I'm not saying you had to, I'm just saying it was.
No,
my
I think
opinion.
that's
Okay.
fair, so
Okay.
if there's any question as to what we're doing here, that's a very good point.
Okay. So dating back to 2017, when I sat in this meeting, you were with us, Melissa. You were with us.
In October?
Of 2017.
2017.
Oh, in 17.
Yep, back in the day. we-
Now I'm old, so.
Well, I'm
Ask me
not saying anything. So, the idea, the topic of conversation was the downtown TIF,
Correct.
right?
Right.
And so, as we think about revitalizing this committee and thinking about what's going to happen, it's talking about that TIF. There's actually 2 TIFs.
Right.
Right? And we're discussing the possibility of exploring another TIF, correct?
At this point in time, I believe that we were going, I don't think that we're going to add another TIF.
Okay.
But we are looking at using the funds inside of the TIF
Okay.
to, the last project that was approved was the streetscape. And in reading all of this, it looked like the long-term goal was for the streetscape to cover all of Main Street. So they're not required by us. It would be a suggestion that we consider completing that project as previously looked at. So, but, you know, that's kind of up to everybody here to kind of make, you know, choices or
So it's really the use of the funds.
use of the funds.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
So the streetscape project was never completed?
Well, it's not from Kickapoo to Harrison, right?
Okay.
So the middle half of Main Street is, not the middle half, but the middle of Main Street is done.
Okay.
And so there's no contiguous sidewalk from Kickapoo to Harrison. And that's my suggestion, so if there's another idea, you know, but that is a project that's already designed and ready to go.
If I may, in 2017, Pioneer Library System had a different rep on this committee, and that rep is no longer at the library system. And if I received any of this in advance, I apologize, because I didn't see it and I've not read it.
Okay.
So I guess I would have questions about what's the length of the TIF? Is the TIF still, the TIF's not been paid off, and what's the length of the TIF, and that we're utilizing the funds from?
So the TIF is, how long is that, Melissa, do you know?
We renewed it in 2017 for 15 years?
I think so.
15 years.
Okay.
Because it was actually an extension of another TIF, if I'm correct. I'm having to sit and think too.
Right.
So I think what would be good is to get, and I know we can get access to all this, but for those who probably weren't a part of that, we need to know what was voted on, what all money was appropriated for where, and what projects were done. I do remember it was $12 million, if I'm not mistaken, for, when you had to do a list of the projects. I think it added up to 12 million, I believe. But I think to get everybody up to speed, we need that project list and how much have we collected, how much have we spent, you know, just see where we're at as of right now.
And if it's a renewal of an existing TIF, we need the existing TIF.
Absolutely. And I can get, there are things I can get from our treasurer, you know, because that's where the money was paid from. It
Right.
comes from the treasurer, the county treasurer's office to the city. I believe it's once a year. Is it once a year? I think it's once a year.
So, so our sole goal is to disperse the money that's been collected through the TIF. Is that correct?
That is as I understand it.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, perfect.
So who, the money that's been dispersed but since then, was there not a committee that met to approve those disbursements, or was it even had to be? I don't know, I'm just asking.
My understanding is that this is the first meeting since 2017.
Okay. Okay.
So
So-
the funds, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So the funds that we're dispersing have been accruing since 2017?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been accruing, but I believe there's some that has been spent. Has there?
That would be something that our finance
Okay,
director.
and that's kind of what we
look
need.
into and bring back to the board.
I know they've been accruing because I've got all that paperwork from our treasurer. I mean, I have a file that shows what all the treasurer has submitted to the city. We just need to know what expenses have been expensed out, you know, and how those went about. And they may not even had to be approved. I don't know.
And I think there's going to be things that are very specific within the structure of the TIF,
Sure.
right? That we see here, that I think that those funds, right, need to go back in the area that they were intended, so they have to go back in the boundaries of the TIF. But I think before we can really make any really good progress, I mean, this information was great because it was all the history from 2017, but I think that gap from 2017 to today, what's accrued, what's the expectation, we know that, and then we've got a good jumping off point, I think, on what we can do and what we can't do, because there's new faces up here that.
And presumably, there's going to be more.
Right, exactly. Yeah, absolutely, yes, yes. And I think once we have that information, Chair, there's a lot more
Discussion.
discussion, beneficial discussion that we can really kind of sink our teeth in and move forward on. And really make sure that we're following kind of the letter of that first and
Right.
second TIF.
Okay, so please forgive me, because I'm kind of new at the TIF. I represent the health department.
Right.
And I have 5 counties, so I've been a part of several TIF meetings in other counties. And my role has always been at the beginning, to be part of the committee, to approve the TIF, you know, to be recommended to the city council, correct? And then they do all the meetings, and then we really haven't had any follow-up after that. Essentially, like as the TIF review committee, you know, we're kind of blessing it from our, you know, organizations, and then kind of pass it on, and then it's in someone else's hands. So this is new to me as far as coming back and really understanding my role here to an existing TIF, right? This TIF's already
It is.
in existence, and money has been spent, and there are parameters already, I'm assuming, based off of the original TIF.
I'm not going to say, I don't know,
Okay.
until we can look at the
Okay.
numbers on what's been spent and what hasn't been spent.
Okay,
I-
but ideally, you know, like when the TIF was approved originally, there was a TIF district.
Right.
And there were, the funds that were coming in were to be expended in certain areas.
Right.
We just need to figure out what that is and where we are.
Absolutely.
So what is the purpose of this group moving forward? Do we have a say in how the money is spent?
I don't, the way I understood it, we didn't really have a say in whether the TIF went forward or not. It was just
A recommendation to
a part of the makeup of the committee is based on who all it was going to affect, city, health, school, blah, blah, blah. And you just basically had to understand and know the master plan of what those projects were. And then the TIF was approved, not really through us, through the city.
Right.
So then, when they started collecting, I wasn't under the assumption that we had to come back and meet to say, yes, this is okay, no, it's not okay. So I don't,
That's my question as
Yeah.
well, because I haven't done that on any other project.
Right.
It's just when the TIF expires, then our millage kind of goes back to the original.
Now, I know there are some things in the law that states that every year, the city has to submit a report to the county, and I know through leadership changes, those things weren't being done, but I believe they are now being done. I think we have to ask for them, but they are being done now. I think so, I'm pretty sure. But those are just things within the law that, in the changing of the leadership, that I think, if you don't stay, if you're not in this, you don't stay on top of it, it goes by the wayside. Just the fact that you just forget. So, but those things, on a county standpoint, I didn't even realize we were supposed to be receiving a report until it was brought to our attention. And then that's when we kind of got involved in getting that report. So, but as far as meeting again to go over yes and no, what has to be approved, I don't know that. That's for legal counsel to tell us. I mean, and I can get, I can get our DA involved, and that's, and Joe, the city attorney, whatever we need to do, but, so.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw.
No, that's fine. No, that's great, thank you.
I think it's a great question, because when we were talking about the TIF almost 10 years ago, I was thinking that the idea was to put the TIF together, set it off on its way, and then the city would then collect,
Yes.
manage, spend.
Yeah, and I think that was everybody's
And so,
assumption.
and I don't know, because there has been a good amount of leadership changes over time, right? So I'm not going to go out on the limb and say what's been spent or hasn't been spent, because I just simply don't know. I'm assuming when I look at Main Street, there's been something spent.
Right.
Right? And so just the naked eye tells me something's been spent, but what do those coffers look like? I don't know. And so, at the very onset, I was wanting to understand just what our purpose was and what we were wanting to achieve here.
Right, and I think we've got a lot of helpful information here, and it kind of looks like we need to get some documents together from our side, for sure. And and we can do that and get this information disseminated out, and then potentially, like we said, all of these meetings are special call meetings anyway. And I think at that, once this information's sent out and we can communicate with the city manager and determine, and the mayor, and determine, do we already have this plan going forward? And then if we need to have another meeting, we can do that at that time. Would you agree with that? Okay. So, and I'm sorry that you didn't have this documentation.
Are the former at-large committee members no longer available to the committee? Is that why we were considering new ones? Because it's not a new TIF.
Right. That, I believe that's correct. We've asked the former at-large members.
So, Casey Bell, Chris Harden were two of the
Were two
three
of the three.
at-large. Tim Berg was the other at-large. He's moved to Edmond. So I reached out to all three, and Mr. Berg chose not to stay on the board because he lives in Edmond.
Okay. Okay. Well, is there anything you think that you can think of that we need to re-add here? No? So, what I'm gonna take on my plate to get to you guys is we're gonna, see if our reports have been sent. And, the TIF collection, to kind of answer your question, what that is, our original TIF documents, and then our project plan for those TIF monies that were coming in for the 2017, and then see what has been expensed.
And I think the original TIF, when we renewed it, I think we incorporated some areas that weren't in the original TIF, which was the whole reason
Right.
to extend that TIF, to incorporate Shawnee Milling, the renovations of Shawnee Milling. That was one of the main things I can think of off the top of my head.
Right, because there is two,
Yes,
right, so.
yes, yes.
That second one came in 2017. Okay, very good.
It was a second TIF, or it was a renewal and expansion of the original?
It was an expansion of the first one, but you still have, they created a different boundary for the second part of it, the second part of it.
And that is on page,
Yeah,
Always understood there's two TIFs.
right,
yeah.
and there's a map in here in the packet that we received.
So if there are two TIFs, how did we extend one, but yet there's two?
The first one, and let's see, you can do a TIF for 25 years.
Correct.
And I hope I'm not saying this wrong. That's why I wish we had an attorney here. You can do a TIF for 25 years. And the first TIF was done for 15 years. And then we extended it for 10. I don't know. Those are the kind of the little details that I'm not just accurate on.
If you look at page
got-
27.
Right,
in
the
your
fourth to
packet-
last page.
Yeah, it's kind of ran off the bottom.
Yeah.
I think it's 27.
The fourth to last page, I think, in our packet. He talks about the two TIF districts, and then the map, you'll see on the,
One other question. So, is the firm who kind of, you all worked with originally on the TIF project, is that firm still involved at all? Or could we, I know the same firm in all, like, in my other counties, it's always the same guy who comes and presents, so I was just, and he's at every single TIF meeting.
Right.
So I didn't know if it would be helpful.
I think it's great information. I mean, we just have to trace back to see who that was.
Okay.
She was out of Tulsa.
Oh, it was a female?
It was a female.
Okay, so it's
She
not
was
the
out
same
of-
person
If she
who?
was out of Tulsa. And her name's on the tip of my tongue.
Most likely should be in the minutes.
Yeah, she should be in the minutes. Yeah, she was out of Tulsa.
Okay. But I did read somewhere in the minutes where it was like they intentionally, consideration for a future meeting for 2026. Is that? Hold on. Oh, this
No,
is
that's
for
your
this one.
agenda.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that was historically, I was like, did they plan that far in advance? You guys remembered that? Okay, just kidding. That's where I saw that.
You're probably talking about, in the communities I've been in, the economic development law violations.
Probably so. Is he dark hair, tall?
Andrew?
And then you can,
What was his name on that? Like, who was involved?
there's Jeff's on the minutes from the last meeting.
Second page of the minutes.
Yeah, it says down here, 5% over the $12 million budget. So, and I knew that there's 500,000 in there for the courthouse. I'm being selfish, but that's about all I remember, because that was part of what we kind of wanted to put in the
Everybody got
TIF.
about 500, because the library
Yeah.
got 500.
Yeah, so. I would just like to know, too, from a statutory standpoint, you know, are we required to meet? I mean, are we required to meet? Because I think we're, the ones who are here are under the assumption that once we got the TIF together and it was approved, that there was no more need for us.
I think that's a very valid point, so.
I've not been on a committee where we had oversight onto expenditures.
I haven't heard of it. That's,
Okay.
you know, like I said, I
Right.
don't know the law, I don't know the law when it comes to that
Right.
either, so.
Okay.
The firm that I've worked with before, or that the other, it's the Public Finance Law Group. So I don't know, that's different, I think. than- But I know he does the tips all around the state now.
Well, I see where TIF 1 is to terminate in 2028 rather than 2018. Is that still,
June of 2028.
can't tell what page that is.
Yeah, it kind of runs off, I saw that.
It's under the,
Yeah.
on the ordinance number
Right.
2620 NS, page 3.
November 3, 17.
I think what I would like to do at this point, if the rest of y'all are on board, get this information that we've discussed and disseminate it out, and then we'll meet with our council and figure out, you know, if we can, you know, use this funding according to, follow our plan, and, but still get this information out to all of us now, because we've been sworn in, right? So you need the documents. And then we'll meet with council and follow up with everybody here. Does that sound good?
Works for me.
You good with that?
Yep.
Well, with that bombshell, we'll adjourn.
Can I meet, who is the financial, okay, can I meet with you and maybe get our county records and come down and sit with you, and then that way I can kind of get an idea of what, you know, is that okay?
I think that's great.
Okay,
Okay?
that'd be good.
So you'll disseminate the information, and then maybe we'll come back and reconvene if needed.
Correct.
As a group, okay.
I think that's, makes sense. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Do you need a vote to adjourn?
No, we don't need a vote.
By power of the chair.
Yeah, we're just, by power of the chair, we'll adjourn. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You bet.